So, continue. You have to ask me that about that. You don't know what you're...
Well, I showed him how.
Makes no difference. Stay here.
Okay.
That anytime you can do that. Unless disturbing the whole... We are discussing about yogas, chittavritti nirodha. Yoga is control and sublimation of the mental modifications or mental waves, thought waves. And then Patanjali said, Vrittaha Panchadaha, Krishta, Akrishta. There are 5 types of vrittis. Some of them are pleasant and some of them are not pleasant. Painful, some of them are painful, some of them are not painful. And what are the 5 vrittis? We already started. That is, what are the names of the 5 vrittis? And the English words? Louder. Okay, now we discuss about correct knowledge already. Correct knowledge is, what is the correct knowledge? The correct knowledge, that is knowledge based on the facts, can be proved by any of the 3 ways, but none of the proofs may be contrary to any other. The first is direct perception, in which the knowledge is experienced directly through the senses. This is acceptable only if the senses are pure and not deluded. Like if he is not in a alcoholic, he is not taken drugs, he is not under any other influence of any drugs or even food and drinks. This is acceptable only if the senses are pure and not deluded, and one perception on the experience does not differ from another. That means I see yellow and you see red. That means that something is wrong. Who? One or the other. But who is wrong? Then you have to see majority. Majority sees yellow and one person says it is red. Then he must be wrong. Okay. So the second proof, inference, is based on reasoning. There may be no physical perception of the truth, but is arrived at through the logic and past experience, just like the logic. Here the water is made up of H2O. But can you see it, H2O? Hydrogen, oxygen? So how do you come to that? Through experience and through experiments you come to conclusion, but not direct perception. No one can say that it's hydrogen or oxygen. So that's called through inference and experience. There may be no physical perception of the truth, but arrived at through logic and experience. That means through scientific logic and so on. The third proof, competent testimony, is knowledge given by a person of unimpeachable character. He has got direct experience himself, his words do not contradict the scriptures, his motives are pure, and the knowledge he gives is of benefit to mankind, and his experience must be such that it agrees with men of wisdom. The truth is one. All proofs are correct. Understanding of him is a false conception of an idea or object whose real nature does not conform to the concept. Just like, again, you can use the analogy of the mirage and the water. When you see the mirage, it appears to be real, but we know that it is an erroneous understanding due to optical illusions created by that particular desert. So that is erroneous understanding. But the truth behind that, there is no water, it's only sand there. So that's called erroneous. So also most of our life we have misunderstanding about the teaching, about the knowledge, about the scriptures. Because we can also understand the scriptures in the wrong way. And we can quote and misinterpret. That's what lots of problem with the humanity. But we see a human being, his physical form, but we cannot see what he is behind it. He can act, he can put on a big show as if he's a sage or a yogi, but from his external appearance, but then we do not know what is behind, so we accept him, and other person may be absolutely true, yet his appearance may not be the right. So we have misunderstanding about him. So husband misunderstands wife, and wife misunderstand between husband and wives. Husband comes home late, and there is little misunderstanding, and there's a quarrel, thinking the wife, maybe he is just gone somewhere else, but actually he must have gone for something else, and he could not prove. So you see, most of our daily life, this misconception is going on from the religious life onward to ordinary material life. This is a vritti, and vritti is always try to see something not real. We always imagine something behind it, or something what it is real is not. The reality is thrown away, and only we take the false perceptions. Yes, what is the question?
There is a problem of the present time, burning problem, about the law and interpretation of the law. Scripture says about law.
About what?
Law.
Law. L-A-W. Yeah.
Scripture says, salus populi suprema lex. Welfare of the people is supreme law. But experience says, закон как дышло. Куда погребешь, туда и вышло. This is Russian. The law is like a pole of horse wagon, where two horses are harnessed. Where you turn, then you get two. And reason says that what those statements are correct. But how to...
No, I didn't get the picture properly. Anyone can explain? Yes. Don't worry about the German. Just speak only English. Give me. Don't worry about the German original.
Latin, salus populi suprema lex. The welfare of the people is supreme law.
Yeah, that's right.
And the other said that the law is like a pole of horse wagon.
Law is what?
A horse wagon. Like a pole on a horse wagon. And when the two horses are turning, then the have to go where the one is going.
What you are talking about, the law of scripture law you are talking, or human law? That laws are different type of laws are there. Human made laws are there, scripture laws are there, nature laws are there, the hygienic laws are there, health laws are there. Which laws you are talking about? When you are talking about a law,
About the law.
which law you are talking about? That's a human law, man-made law, God's law, spiritual law, ethical law, hygienic law. What law you are talking?
Well, this is, I am talking about the real fact, you see, the present time.
No, I am not talking about. You are quoting from some scriptures, or you are just quoting from you?
They are from scripture.
Okay, which scripture you are quoting? First you had mentioned that before you just give me. You are quoting from which scripture you are quoting?
In books of law. You see, the definition of law.
No, books of the law. What is the name of the book? That's the name of the book is called Books of the Law? That's the book name?
No. This is from Roman source that it comes.
From the Latin.
Salus populi suprema lex.
Well, merely Romans and this and that. What is the name of the book and what is the source? Because until I can't just connect to anything. You see, maybe it's coming from the Rome, or from Russia, from this way. I do not. What is the name of the book you are talking? You're quoting now. You know, just like Bible or Torah or Bhagavad Gita. See, I am quoting from various books. So, which book you are quoting now?
If you take law, then the Roman law, this is the foundation of the Roman law.
Now, this Roman law is written by whom? It's
I am not lawyer, I don't know that, but I know that fact.
no. Just wait, please. I am not I am trying to understand you. You please sit down. Don't have to go and get up, but sit down. You be comfortable. The law we are talking about, you are talking the political law, or economic law of the economics, or law of the government, or law of a particular government of a political party, or a law of the scriptures, or law of the Moses, or law of this. Moses got also certain laws, or law of what Krishna gave certain laws. This, see, first of all, if you are going to talk about law, You must say, I am talking about a particular law. This is what, then I can, any law you can say, but thing is, I want to see the source of that, then I can explain to you properly. That's the purpose of it. You see, I can interpret it to you properly. So, but you do not know where this law is coming, except you say it's from Roman law. Now, this Roman law is a political law and scripture law. Scriptures means, it's not man-made. Scriptures are all just like Bhagavad Gita, Bible, Torah. These are all scripture laws are there. Love thy neighbor as thyself. It is a law. And the 10 Commandments, that is a law there, you see. So you are talking which law, I do not understand. That's what I'm asking. If I can get the original source, then I can interpret properly. Even without that, I can interpret properly. But I will get you much better. I can make you understand subject. That's what I'm asking. You don't know where this law came from.
I say that this came, the first definition came from
Okay, stop that, please. Envy, fear. In an advanced people, love, compassion, truthfulness, service, these are all more. The other thing is less. An absolutely absorbed, completely absorbed person in the God consciousness, he has got no lower nature, no lust, anger, greed, hatred, jealousy, envy, fear. Now, if you are going to talk to the law, to a less evolved person, love thy neighbor as thyself, he will understand my neighbor is next door man. That's all he will understand it. For an advanced man, now neighbor means the whole world. Now, the self means, for in a less evolved man, the self is this little body, name and form. For advanced man, the self is everywhere. I and my father are one. I am in ye are in me, I am he. That's called he sees oneself everywhere. So now, if you are going to talk certain law, you must see the person is evolved enough to understand it. So you cannot just give him the law which he is not able to understand. Even when the 10 Commandments were given, and they were divided again into 10. Why? Because they could not practice that 10 basic commandments. So divided again 10 and made it into smaller and smaller laws which they can easily understand and practice. So that's the universal law. Now there are ethical laws are there, like Yama, Nema, etc., where the Satyam, Vada, Dharman, Dara, Acharyavan, so Baba, there are many type of ethical laws are there. Then moral laws there. And now human laws there, man-made human laws. That's what yesterday we were discussing about. Insanity means, according to the West American law, anyone who cannot understand right or wrong is an insane person. Well, that is a general theory of madness. A man must be mad only because he cannot understand what is right, wrong, he cannot understand who he is, who doesn't know who the other person is. He cannot distinguish himself from the other man. He doesn't understand he is a male or female. He doesn't understand he is president or non-president. He doesn't understand she is a movie star and he is not a movie star. When a person cannot distinguish this is called right, and not only right and wrong means anything distinct from one thing from another. Such a person, without knowing, he performs an action you call is an action of a madman. But right and wrong then means, oh yes, because he killed shot President Reagan, because he cannot understand right, and that is not interpretation, because you are interpreting the law to suit your weakness or your inability to understand the law, or you are abusing the law. In America, everyone is abusing that law. That's why lawyers, main purpose of a lawyer is how to find loophole in the law, and then he is a great lawyer. A simple example of that law I will tell you. There is a lawyer, a crooked lawyer in Ceylon. British, they were ruling almost, British, there was the rulers of India, Ceylon, Malaysia, Singapore, they were all empire, British Empire everywhere. And so there were governor generals from the Britain ruling India, also Ceylon. And the rule is, according to the British rule, no one can have a a cart drawn by the 12 horses. Only Governor General can have, the representative of the king only can have a cart drawn by 12 horses. Everyone can have, must have only less than. So this lawyer got a cart and purposely wanted to turn the British law. So he got 12 horses and drove through the street. And there were police came and arrested. You broken the law. But he said, no, I did not break the law. So he was taken to the court with the cart and all the 12 horses to make sure that the evidence are there. And the judge came, you broke the 12 horses. But he said, you did not really count. Yes, we counted. 1, 2, 3, there are. But then he said, again, please look. There are not 12 horses. What are you talking about? There are only 11 horses. One is a donkey. The law says there could be only 12 horses, but he only had 11 horses and one donkey. You understand how the law works? So, human laws can be interpreted anyway, man-made laws, because it's all how you are going to interpret. But the spiritual laws, love thy neighbor as thyself. Thou shalt not covet others' property. These laws are not man-made written. It is an inherent in all evolved beings' mind. It is there. Just like lust, anger, greed also there, same this higher mind also there. So now I am going to interpret that law which is a Roman law. Roman law says, what the first law you said? So, okay, it is true or not? Welfare of the being is the supreme law. Now, take for this body. Welfare of this body, my body has got innumerable number of organs and tissues. You are learning in the physiology. So many bones, so many muscles are all there. Now, the purpose of all these muscles and tissues and infinite number of trillions and trillions of individual cells, what are the purpose of this? To have a healthy body and function properly in a coordinated way. Well, that's called. So the heart is functioning for what? For welfare of the heart or for welfare of the entire body? Lungs are functioning for what? And what about muscular system? What about the hand? What about left hand? Only for right hand. Oh, if someone is going to attack me, right hand says, oh, I won't have anything to do because it's not, I'm there and he's not attacking my right hand, so I don't have to do anything. It is attacking the left hand, you stupid, you get that blow. You allow the left hand to go and take it, so right hand will come and, though he is stupid, right hand will come and, okay, I got more strength, I will help you. So the hand also is working for the welfare of the, and I got the example of the thing is going to fall down, what my hand will do, both the hands, without having anything, it will go and protect the head. Is working, because if there is no head, there is no, but so every organ will try to protect the head. Now that doesn't mean that they are inferior, because they are also doing their function, but each organ has got a specific function. So the kidneys have got some function, so also bladder. Bladder hates, I have to carry all those horrible stuffs all the time, and look at that, the heart has got doing good job, the brain has got another job, I get this worst job here. So, but the bladder does its job. No, he doesn't go on strike, that will be end of it, you see. It will be loaded with poison. So that's called entire. Same way, the humanity is one. Now, in this body, suddenly there is a growth. You call it a cancer. And the cancer start developing. Now where did the cancer tissues come from? The same cells become cancer because it mutilated and then start going abnormally like an outlaw. And it doesn't follow anymore the rules of the body. It starts attacking everything on its path and destroying the body. Then what I do? Oh, cancer cell, oh, you're a good boy. You're also my cell. I love you too. What I do? I immediately cut it Because the welfare of the body is important, not the welfare of a small. So suppose even one lung has got cancer, very important lung, and one has got the cancer. So what I do? I cut the one lung out. Suppose the very heart itself has got problem. It's not functioning, it's going to kill me. So what I do? I cut the heart and put a baboon's heart, a monkey heart, is it not? So the welfare of the body is important. Even if one organ is not going to function and going to resist and go on strike, we cut it out and change it if possible. That's what the same law applies to the humanity too. So the welfare of the humanity. So sometime a group of people like Hitler or Idi Amin comes and they are like cancer. So we have to cut it out and throw them out because society has been polluted by this. Another simple example is sacks are full of beautiful potato, but there is one rotten potato somewhere. Of course, potatoes come from the same field and the same sacks. Now, that one rotten potato, if you leave, what will happen? The entire sack will be, so you take that rotten, throw it out, so rest will be in a good condition. So that law is right, that's the universal law. Then what's the second law you said? What's the contradictory law? I didn't get the analogy properly. Anyone can explain that analogy, the horse and the, maybe here is a gold. Mr. Gold, can you understand that?
I can understand what the sentence, the first three words.
Which way the horse is wagging against as well.
What does that have to do with law?
Well,
Where you
follow
get
those.
if horses are strong enough, where you turn, there you get two. You can drive where you want.
You're saying might makes right. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't say that, but
Might conquers everything.
where you are turning, whenever the boat is turning, the wagon goes up.
Wherever the horses go, the wagon goes.
Wherever the wall goes, people follow the wall. Wherever the wall goes, that's how it goes.
If you have the right thing, then you can get any way through the law because the law is the pole. The horses then direct the pole. So they're saying he said the law is like the pole. Right?
No, we are just wasting the time because we will never finish this course, because just fast before 1 second only I won't waste another. I get the proper explanation about that. I cannot interpret it properly at all. That is not, you cannot turn the law, love thy neighbor as thyself. This law you cannot turn it anyway. Only one way it can turn it. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. No way you can say, okay, that neighbor I love, but this neighbor I cannot love. That is not. So that law, what you are talking is the human law, like the lawyer who made 12 horses. No one can. Who put that law? Who made that law? It is just a British king or some people said, okay, because only Governor General can, the king's representative can only have 12 horses. That is not a law. It is just a human ego. That's not law we are talking about. That kind of law is written law. The might is right. That is the law which is belong to animal kingdom. Does not belong to the higher nature.
German strategist Clausewitz said another statement. He said that God's justice is always on the side of the stronger battalions.
But who said that?
Clausewitz.
Who?
Clausewitz, the famous German military.
He is a human being or he is God?
He's a human being.
Then what difference is there, Hitler and he? What's the difference between Hitler and he? He is only interpreting his idea about the God. God is somewhere seated up and punishing everybody. That's not God. He's just like a child. He cannot understand what God is. So how can I go and interpret his law? He's just, a child says, okay, I am going to hereafter, child wrote a new law, 11th commandment. Every child can beat the father. And he starts preaching to other children. Come on, go and beat your father when you go back. Now, how am I going to interpret that law that beating the father is one of the commandment or one of the law? They wrote, within their own community, they wrote this law. Every child can go and beat the father and make money as much as possible. So, that is, we are not talking that level. This is all human-made law. Because he is a human being, he is not evolved being, we are not talking at all that law, okay? We will never reach anywhere, because if we start interpreting every law written by every human being on this planet Earth, then everyone will go on contradict laws, and I will write a new law, and another person will write another law, and third person will come and write another law, and we can interpret those laws. That's not law. That's not law at all. What you are talking is not law. It's only human emotions and egoism they are putting there, you see. Might is right, like that. That's nothing to do with the spiritual law we are talking about. Verbal delusion is caused by the identification of the words that has no basis in reality, which already we explained yesterday completely. And now, next aphorism is the 10th one. Now, next vritti is called sleep. Abhava pratyalambana vritti nidra. That's the aphorism. Read everybody. Abhava pratyalambana vrittir nidra. Abhava pratyalambana vrittir nidra. Nidra means sleep, and that's also a modification of the mind. Mind has got different type of modification. What are the 5 modifications? Right knowledge, erroneous understanding, verbal delusion, nidra, sleep, and memory. So now we are coming to the 4th vritti, nidra. So Patanjali, no one ever tell, in fact in all other psychology or description of mind, when you come to sleep, you take sleep as an unconscious type of state. But not Patanjali. Patanjali says it is a modification or a wave in the mind. And it is not an unconscious state. There is a type of experience, a vritti. What type of vritti experience you get in the deep sleep? Deep sleep nidra. It is very peaceful, no pain, and I am in a peaceful state. So there is a kind of vritti. So it is not an unconscious state of the mind. Now he is describing what that means, what that vritti means. During the deep sleep state, the mind is blank. There is an experience of voidness in which the mind is attending to no thought. Some people may even experience this void state of mind with eyes open. But this vritti must not be mistaken for the supraconscious state in which there is full concentration, awareness, and realization of the self. There is one thing common between the supraconscious state and deep sleep. That is, in both places there is absence of duality. The right word, duality. Say the word. In the waking and the dream, there are subject and the object experience. I am, you are. Subject and the that's called. So what is duality means? Subject and the object. Say again. Duality means experience, subject and the get. I see, and if I see, then there must be an object to see. So observer and observe, and then the object of observation. So in subject object or duality experience, 3 things are there: experiencer, experienced, and experience, or knower, knowledge, and known. Come on, repeat everybody. Knower, knowledge, and known. So that's called duality. I am, example, I am having a glass. This glass is subject or object? And I see the glass. So I am different from the glass. So subject, object different. Then what I get an experience, yes, I know it is a glass. So an experience of the, and what type of glass it is? It's a reading glass, is concave or convex. Concave, not convex. So I get an experience about what type of glass it is. It could be a looking glass, it could be a sunglass. So I get an experience what type of the object is. There are different types of glasses. It could be reading glass, it could be sunglass, it could be looking glass, it could be microscopic glasses you can magnify, but it is all, but I get an experience, oh, I know it is not a looking glass, it is a reading glass, or it's not a reading glass, it is a sunglass, etc. So three things are there in all duality. What are the three things? Knowledge and the known. So another way, experiencer, experience and the experience. In dream, do you have this three? Yes, because dream ice cream is as tasty as a waking ice cream. And who is experiencing the ice cream? Who is experiencing? I am. So subject who experiences in the waking state, Swami Vishnu now is experiencing that ice cream. So three things are there: ice cream, Swami Vishnu, I am the experiencer. And then in the dream, I am not Swami Vishnu, I am Mr. Gold. I am Mr. Gold. I am now experiencing an ice cream. Well, the dream ice cream, in the waking state, I like strawberry. I don't like chocolate. Now in the dream, I like chocolate, not strawberry. And my name is Mr. Gold. So Mr. Gold likes chocolate. So now, but still, there are three things are there. What are the three things? I am, instead of Mr. Swami Vishnu, Gold. That's only just but the subject is the same, and then object Gold. The name is an object. That is different. But I experience as what? As Mr. Gold, the lawyer, and then I experience the chocolate ice cream. So there are also subject, object. In the deep sleep, there is no experience at all, is it not? No, just wait. Why no memory? Because suppose I was eating an ice cream, suddenly someone hit me on my head with a big hammer. Now what happened? I'm going and eating ice cream. Do I have an experience? When I get up, what I will say? I had a nice sound sleep. Do we say that? No. This I had a nice experience of an ice cream. So what's the difference? There is no memory. That means mind is paralyzed. The functions of the body is going on, but mind is means what? Take example of my arm. I can't move my arm. Please look at it. I can't move my arm. What do you mean by that? Why this paralysis? The muscles are still there. Fibers are there. A nerve, suppose, let us assume a nerve is being disconnected or pinched here. Now I can't move my arm. The muscles are there. But what makes the muscles to obey my command? The nerve which brings the impulse, the signal. So that nerve is disconnected. Still my bicep is connected to my own body. There's no difference, is it not? Still it's my hand, is it not? But it won't obey my command because there is no message coming. So it's paralysis. It's paralyzed. Muscles are still functioning. Their circulation is going on. Then muscles are not dead. Is it dead? Is it still working? But I can't use it. I can't use it. Same with the mind. In that unconscious state, mind functions through the physical brain. And the physical brain is being shut off. That means that impulse coming from back and forth is being disconnected. So the mind and brain cannot anymore coordinate and function. So there are no impulse going from the physical to the mind, and both are in a paralyzed state. But it's not in unconscious state. In unconscious state, even in the general anesthesia, as I mentioned, they can see, because brain is not functioning, but then the mind is functioning. Mind and senses are functioning. So unconscious state, both mind, senses are all completely paralyzed. But that doesn't mean they are dead. Like the example of the I just now gave. What example I gave? Parvati, what example I gave? Okay. What do you mean paralyzed? The muscles are alive, but the impulse is not reaching, connecting. Same, that's called unconscious state. But in the deep sleep state, it is not unconscious. Mind is still connected to your causal body, but it's not connected to the physical body or astral body. It's connected to the causal body. You know the causal body? Parvati, you know what causal body is? Where? Seed body, yeah. Now, so in the waking state, your physical body, astral body, and the causal body, all three bodies are functioning. In the dream state, which body is functioning? Astral body and causal body. In the deep sleep state, causal body. That is why there is no object to experience. Because causal body is the closest thing you can understand what is that timeless causal state. But in the deep sleep state, one thing is common. There are no objects, not memory, objects. But there is the word, right word. We are using two words we are using. What are the words we are using? What are the words we are using in duality? Subject and the object. So in both in the waking and the dream there are, come on everybody. And in the deep sleep there is only subject, no object. So there is nothing to perceive. If there is no object, how can you perceive? How can you perceive when there is no? Even mental objects. I close my eyes, I don't even have a mental objects or physical objects, no aware of the time, space, etc. Then I will have no experience. Experience comes because when your mind comes in contact with the Parvati. I don't want to keep your mouth shut. When I repeat, everyone should understand. So, what is you call an experience is when the senses and mind coming in contact with the Parvati did not understand. I can see the blank thing. Tell me, how do you experience this book? Let her tell. How do you experience this book? You see it what? Pardon? With your eyes. And then, suppose your mind is somewhere else. You are seeing the book. What will happen?
I won't really see it.
Why? Your eyes are still there. Book is there. The book is there. Object book is there. You got your eyes. Then why you are not seeing?
My mind is not focused on
Focused where?
the book.
Through what? Why the mind? How can the mind can focus on the book?
You have to use the mind or disengage.
But where? Mind has to be engaged through what? The mind must be engaged. So many times you are all just still. A simple, this is already done in your first course, second course, 100 times I explained. Your experience of any object is not possible without three things. What are the three things? Forget about now. We are actually coming to the actual experience. Forget about the philosophy. If I want to experience this book, what are the three things necessary? First, I need what? I need an object to experience, is it not? So if I want to see the book, I must have the book first. Second, what I need? Eyes. I need the eyes to see it. If I am blind, though I got the book, I can't, but I can touch it and feel it, smell it. All of the senses are there, but still senses are necessary for. So for perception, for seeing, which sense you are using? Eye. So I need eyes. Suppose I am having jaundice. What do I see? This book has yellow. But still I need, doesn't matter what my experience of the book, yellow, red, etc. Still I need, repeat everybody. Third, what else you need? Suppose my mind is somewhere up in Rishikesh, then what will happen? You are all sitting here, that's what, many of you are not able to understand my lecture. Why? Because your minds are not here. It is going on drifting away. So I am talking, but you are not understanding because there is no way I can communicate to what? I am not communicating merely to your ear. That same voice is coming to all of you. But when it comes to your ear, it doesn't reach your mind, because mind is been disturbed to some other. You already learned in your previous course. Mind must be connected to the sense to have a perception. But mind cannot go, how many senses you have? But mind cannot attend to all five senses simultaneously. You learned that in your previous course. 100 times we explained also in several of my courses. Your senses, mind can only attend one sense at a time. But are you hearing me? Are you seeing me simultaneously? Are you hearing me and seeing me simultaneously? Hanuman, are you hearing me and seeing me? I am talking to you. Can you hear me? Can you see me? But according to yoga says, that's not possible. You cannot, if you are seeing me, you cannot hear. If you are hearing me, you are not seeing. But are you doing that now? That means that philosophy is wrong, is it not? Eh? Okay, let's just wait. I'll give the example. I explained several times these examples, but again I'll repeat. Now you take a firecracker, July 4th, and very powerful firecracker, you lit the fuse. Know what? It explodes with a very powerful flash and a big bang sound. So you had experience of what? Both explosion and the light. Flash and the sound are simultaneous, is it not? You hear and see simultaneously, is it not? But if you little bit analyze, you will show light travels at 186,000 miles per second. That means if the explosion takes place near that skeleton, at 186,000 miles per second, from there to reach that light, how long it takes, Parvati? We cannot measure it. It is far beyond our imagination. But sound travels at how much? 1,000 kilometers an hour. But I'm not accustomed to kilometers. I'm still in the mile, because we are talking about miles. 186,000 miles per second. So, what is the traveling speed of the sound? 700 feet per. This one 700, 1200 feet per second, you know? Pardon? 1100 feet per second. Now, 1100 feet per second, that means 1100 feet is almost from that end of from the room to this end, so almost about 1100, let us assume. Suppose the explosion takes place on that, where is it? The fireplace. The light and the sound from here appears to be coming simultaneously. But what speed? Speed is the same? Okay. So then how come it appears to be coming simultaneously? You see the explosion, you hear the explosion. How come? The distance are very short. Now take example, have you seen lightning and thunder? Is it not, Parvati? Suddenly there is a big flash. There is no sound. It blinded you. And then afterwards the flashes are gone. Then comes bang. But when that lightning started, the explosion, the sound, thunder, Srinivasa, the explosion and the light both are same. But when you reach it here, why is the first time the light first? Why the lightning first, not the thunder, not the sound? Because light travels faster than the, and so sound comes later because it travels only 1100 feet per second. And here 186,000 miles per second. So light comes first, lightning comes first for you, and then later on appears to be the thunder coming, the sound coming. Same thing. When I talk to you, you hear me, you see me simultaneously, because your mind has got the capacity to travel at a lightning velocity from one sense to other. It goes to the eye, it goes to the ear, and it goes to taste, smell, touch. So it goes on at lightning velocity. So it appears to be you are seeing me, you are hearing me, like an explosion which is very, very close. But if it's far away, you can see the difference. So the example here, why you are able to see me and hear me? Because your mind is able to travel very fast to each senses and draw the color and collects the data. And then, so certain data is very important. Certain data is not very important. So sometimes you are reading a book intensely. It's very interesting. So your mind is now focused there. And other impulses are coming. Sounds are coming. Smell, tastes are coming. But you won't. The mind though getting, it went and okay, it is not important now. It is now only connected to the one sense. What is the sense? At that time, someone calls your name, you won't hear. If some other smell of the ice cream, you won't hear. Etc. Suppose you are hearing beautiful music, very melodious music, then you won't see anybody is passing by. You won't see them. Why? Because the mind is connected to the. So that's called. So mind can do only one thing at a time, but there are only 5 sense perceptions. Mind can either see or hear or taste or smell, but it cannot do all five things simultaneously. But in our daily life, the mind is doing this because it takes the collect the data, and whatever the important data is projected, and other things are all just removed. For example, you come in front, as you walk through the door into the yoga hall, There's a sign. What the sign says? What the sign says? Door locks at. How many people have seen that sign? Show the hand, please. Chandra did not see, huh? Yeah. Why? Why Chandra? Everyone saw, but Chandra did not see. Because it is not important for him, and also he must be very regular today. Or he is not very regular. Either he is on time, so it is not very important what is written there, because he is always going to be on time. Or if he is going to be late all the time, that is also not very important. The mind discarded either way, you see. It's not important what the science says. You just go to many places, so many things are written there, so many instructions are given there. But how many people read those instructions? Even if it doesn't register in their mind. Even if you read, it doesn't make any, because mind did not give any attention to what you read. So you understand that? This is the most important thing. From the very beginning of your course, from the first course also, explain these 5 things, how the mind operates. So mind can do only one thing at a time, but it appears to be doing all 5 things simultaneously. Okay, give me that one flower, the plutonium. Now, example of this example you will remember. If you put in your mind, you will never forget this. Without this, you will not be able to understand the mind at all, and your sense functions. No, the plutonium, the white, red. Yeah. This is an example to show how the mind functions fast. There's 1 petal, 2 petals, 3 petals, 4 petals, and 5 petals. Anyone got a safety pin or a pin? Any pin or a needle? Okay. Now you stay here. You count. This is 1 petal, is it not?
1 petal.
Okay. Now, this is the 2nd petal. Put it over that. Together. Put it together.
2 petals.
2 petals. This is 3rd petal.
3 petals.
This is 4th petal.
4 petals.
4 petals. This is the 5th petal. 5 petals.
5 petals.
Put it together. Now just see. Show to everybody. 5 petals are there together, is it not? You all saw. Okay. That 5 petals represents whatever it is. Now, here is a sharp needle, real hard. Now take this sharp needle and plunge that needle as fast as you can. As fast as you can. Now, she plunged very fast. Is it not from me? Is she plunged or not? Come on, give it. She didn't do the right way anyhow. Okay. I'll plunge it myself. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, it hit my, but doesn't matter. Okay. Now, all the 5 petals pierce, is it not?
Right.
Yeah. Now, that sharp needle, when it gone through all the 5 petals, it went at once, is it not? It went all together, is it not?
No. First, each petal at a time.
Each petal at a time?
Yeah.
But I saw it went through all the 5 petals at once. I saw it. It went at once.
It's just an illusion.
So, doesn't matter how fast I put the pin through the 5 petals, it can only go one at a time. Not all 5 simultaneously. Even at the speed of light, I am sending this at the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second, I am going to pierce the 5 petals. Still it can only pierce one at a time. You got that? 5 petals represents 5 senses, is it not? Yeah. And the needle represents the mind. And the mind goes to all the senses so fast it appears to be, it pierces through all the senses simultaneously. You got that analogy? Keep that in your mind. Never forget it. Thank you all. Okay, now what is then concentration is, a perception is, when the mind coming in contact with an object through any one of the particular sense, you get the experience of that. Though the senses are functioning, if the mind is not there with the senses, then there is no perception. Perception possible only when the mind is attached to the, but mind can only go to one sense at a time. So, if I have to experience this book, first of all I need the book, second I need eyes, third I need the mind. So 3 things are there. Now, any one of the thing is missing, you can't have an experience. Suppose the book is missing, then I want the experience of a, but I can still have an experience of the book. How? If I have a memory of this book in my mind, if I have seen a book before, then I close my eyes, still there is a image of the created by the mind, but doesn't matter, but still the image of the book must be there, object must be there to have. Though there is no physical book, there must be a object of mental book. That's what happening in the dream. Dream do not have a physical book, but you have a mind created a mental book for you. Then how?
So if you close your eyes, you see an image of
Well, suppose you don't have an experience of a book before, you are a born blind man, let us assume. Just see, if I am born blind man, you ask to visualize a book, what you will see? Get it? So what is the, you got your inner eye, you are still just like in the dream. Dream you didn't have a physical eye, but you could see in dream, is it not? Then how can you see? Because there is astral eye, inner eye. You see, you already know. The senses are not in the body. You already learned that, you've forgotten that too. So, you can have any experience, doesn't matter where it is. For a born blind man, he will have an experience of the book, except what experience? He can feel it, he knows, oh, experience of the book, oh, this book is very soft, and inside is all, oh yes, small leaves are there. So he can experience that through his vision, but not about the color, because he has no image.
If you were born blind, would you dream at all? Or would you dream what you know your past?
It's possible you can dream from the past life, because subconscious memories will be there, plus mostly they experience a kind of feeling and touch and more. Simple example is, first time a few blind people came to our camp, ashram in Rishikesh, from a school, blind school, and they said, people come for pilgrimage, and I asked them, people generally come to pilgrimage, they can walk over and see everything, and then go through the bridges and see all the buildings and the temples and worship the temple, see the murti, etc. This is called pilgrimage, and they come. And these people also came for pilgrimage, and so I asked them, what are you seeing? You can't see anything. But they feel it, experience. Their other senses are so acute, it takes a portion of their experience, they may not exactly see, but all other 4 senses are there. So they take, they get added benefit by not having this sight, but other senses also taking and giving experience of this, going through that same motion like we do, you see. So it is an experience we can't explain. What the experience of a born blind man about the world, we cannot understand it. Just like they cannot understand what the color is. We both are blind in that state, Their experience is different from our understanding. And we cannot just, oh yes, they must have an understanding of darkness. But they don't see darkness. Do you know that blind people don't see darkness? Do they see darkness everywhere, the blind people? No. For them, the life is as vigorous, as powerful as what we are. But only thing is, one sight is not, that doesn't mean they are absolutely living in the darkness. The experiences are real. But we cannot understand what that feeling, unless you are a born blind man. And if you ask them how to describe, you ask the blind man to describe about their experience, it's just like you are describing what is the experience of a color to a born blind man. Suppose born blind man says what is yellow means, you can explain yellow is yellow. So for him that experience is absolutely nonsense and meaningless. Just like if you ask, what is your experience, what type of dream you get in? And his experience will be, for us will be like our explanation of a color to a blind man too. So we both are in the same situation. Okay, now, where are we? So, you understand that? The sleep. Now, in the sleep state, I brought all this subject back again once more. Why you don't have an experience in the sleep? Because for all experiences you need three things. What are three things? Object, senses, mind. Now, in the deep sleep, you do not have two things. In the dream, you got all the three things. You got a mental object, you got mental I, and that's mind. That's why you are experiencing. In the deep sleep, you don't have two things. What are the two things? You don't have an object, because mind is not there to project a mental image, and there are no mental senses. Senses are also temporary suspended, like the disconnection of the nerves. So both senses and the mind and the objects are disconnected. So the mind then has no experience. There's nothing there to observe. Just like when you are seeing, you can shut off other senses. But when you have no senses at all, no objects at all, then mind has got nothing to. It goes into a suspended state, and it's called inactivity. But that is also a vritti. One vritti exists. What that vritti? I feel I am refreshed after a sleep. You give a good memory. Oh, I had a sound sleep. Experience. It's not like hit by a hammer. When you get up from that unconscious state, you say, I had a sound sleep. What do you say? What happened? So that vritti is different. But when you get up from the sleep, we always say, oh, I had a sound sleep. We always remember an experience. But it is not an object experience, because there are no objects and no senses. It neither came from the object or from the senses. It came from, then must come from where? From where? Three things are there: subject and the object and the experience. There is no object nor experience. Then what is left is, so you are aware of the subject. That is called the deep sleep state, or closest to a transcendental experience, or closest to samadhi. So what is a samadhi means? What is superconscious state means? What it means? Only subject, experience of the subject. In the third aphorism, go back to the third aphorism. Come on, read it please. Third aphorism. Come on, somebody. At that time, when the thought base, that means there are no more objects presented, no more senses to perceive that object, then what is left is the perceiver, the subject remains Read it again, Parvati, that English translation.
At that time, when the thought wave was stilled, the perceiver rested in his own nature.
That's called subjective experience. That's called universal conscious or samadhi. Now just go back to one more behind it. Read the previous one. The one behind, before it.
Yoga is restraining the activities of the mind.
And then, next one.
At that time, when the thought waves were stilled, the perceiver rested in his own nature.
Okay, next one.
When the mind is not concentrated, the perceiver identifies with its modification.
You see? When the mind is not concentrated means when there are objects given to the mind. Through what? Mind gets through the senses and objects are presented. Ice cream. Ah, tasty. So the mind is not concentrating on the self. It's concentrating on the object which coming from the and the hearing a music. So the mind is getting an object through the and the mind is seeing a beautiful picture. Oh, yes. Yes.
So it really should say when the mind is not concentrated on the self, the perceiver identifies with its modifications, because you can concentrate on an object and identify.
Wait, just wait. Don't just go further. Well, concentrated means on anything. When the mind is still on any object, in that there will be absolutely, mind is perfectly concentrated without any other thought, except one thought of, doesn't matter, even if it is thought of the microphone, only that microphone, only I see. Then mind gets suspended. That means its mental activities are suspended. Because what is the nature of the mind? It must create waves after wave. Ice cream. Or when I look at this, why I am so interested in this microphone? Because it always reminds me of a ice cream cone. So beautiful. You know? Whichever I look at, I think of the ice cream cone. So I am happy to see, look at it. So, without any other thought, only one thought of one thing alone, then mind's mental activities are stopped. Cessation of the mental activities. So this is where it is. You can focus it on a chakra, you can focus it on kundalini, you can focus it on a sound om, or you can focus it, I am Satchidananda. Doesn't matter, but mind must say only. So you see, there is no difference between one type of meditation from other. The purpose is to stop this, the waves. The object you give for meditation will be different. Just like the purpose of taking food is, what is the purpose of taking food? To get energy and to nourish the body. Now some people take hot dogs, other takes a cucumber. But the purpose is, but not to satisfy the tongue. Now you think you are taking the food so that it will nourish. Taste very good, I have a very nice taste. And it smells nice, it tastes nice. But you don't care whether it is good for the... But eating, the purpose of eating is not for smell, not for the taste. It is for the... Is it not, Mr. Gold? Yeah, nourishing. So whether you are eating in America or whether you are eating in India, whether you are a vegetarian or non-vegetarian or you are a cannibal, the purpose of eating is, cannibals eat for what? Nourishment for their body. You eat hot dog for the pigs and chickens to nourish your, the vegetarians they eat for, but why do they put in South Indian, they put also all the curries. That's for the tongue. See? But the original purpose of eating is to get nourishment. And what are things necessary for your nourishment? Protein, carbohydrates, fat, vitamins, minerals. These are the 5 things. Now, doesn't matter what food you take, you get only nourishment out of these 5. But why then colors, taste, smell, etc.? That is only to suit your senses. Same, the different types of meditation there. But the purpose of meditation is yogas, chitta, vritti, nirodha. Stop the mental modification. Now, how are you going to stop the mental modification? As I am a bhakta, I am a devotee. So, I like Krishna with the fruit in the hand. Really, I really love Krishna. That his story, literally, I'll literally go in ecstasy when I hear Krishna's story. I merge in that. Though people call me Hatha Yogi, etc., I am not real Hatha, I am really a bhakta, devotee. All the things only external so that I can draw your attention. But for me, that, so I was last time in the cave, several hours, always 6-8 months I was alone. But the story of Lord Krishna and his name and this, that's all kept me. I don't need anything else. Food and things are not important. Then I hear the story of Krishna, I forget everything. So, that doesn't mean another person who does not think of Krishna is inferior to me. He will be meditating on the chakras. So what's the purpose of that? To stop the vrittis. So he used the chakra as the method to focus the mind. Other jnana yogi, they don't like all these things. Aham brahmasmi, I am that aham brahmasmi. So they are focusing on that. So it doesn't matter what object you used for focusing, the technique is to stop the mental modification, mental vrittis. So you got it? Yeah. So in the deep sleep state then, why there is no pain? Why there is no pain, Michael? Deep sleep? Did you have any pain in deep sleep state? Why? Body exists, still body is breathing, body is eating, mind is also there. You are only experiencing the subject. In both waking and the dream, there are differences. All our experiences are related. Is it not? Is it not? The same object two people experience, they get the same experience or different experiences. Why? Why that? Suppose we give an ice cream to two people, the same ice cream, same flavor, and both of them taste that ice cream, what the reactions will be from both of them? Why? That is depending upon their mind. If one person used to account chocolate all the time, and I used to take strawberry all the time, so we got a impression in our mind, because I think the happiness must come from strawberry. Happiness must come from chocolate. It is in the mind or in the object. If it's in the object, we both must get the same experience, but we don't. Say, now you switch that, you give the chocolate to me and strawberry to him, the reaction will be different. But the process are the same. You need an object, you need the taste bud, you need the mind. Suppose both of us are in sleep. The strawberry man and the chocolate man both are asleep, in deep sleep. And we put ice cream. The strawberry man, you put chocolate ice cream in his mouth, and strawberry man, you give the other way, the chocolate man, you give the strawberry. And they follow during the sleep. Next morning, what you ask them? Hey, did you enjoy your, what they will say? What chocolate? What ice cream? Why? Because the mind is not connected to the, all the three things are disconnected in the deep sleep. Mind, senses and the, are disconnected to where? From your subject. In experience you need three things: mind, object, mind, senses, and the object. In the deep sleep state, these three things are not there. What are they? Things? Mind? No. Object is an object. Book is an object, we know. Now what about the senses? Senses are object or subject? Senses are object or subject? Object. Mind is subject or object? Object. See, so mind, senses, and the object, all three are object. Then what is left is subject. That is why in the deep sleep state, suddenly we all become the same. What type of experience we have? Parvati, last night I had a sound sleep. My sound sleep is so superior to your sound sleep. Oh, because I'm a yogi master and you are a sinner. Now, tell me, Parvati, your deep sleep, a sinner's deep sleep is inferior? Yes, it's not as superior to my deep sleep. Is it true? Is it true? But at the time of the deep sleep, you felt you are a sinner? Do I feel I am a saint? Do you feel Mr. Gold as a lawyer? Do you feel that you are a woman, Sasha? Sasha doesn't want to hear, so she put everything. She doesn't want to hear at all your talk. I'm going to shut up everything. So, neither you felt you are a male, nor you felt you are a female. Neither you felt you are a saint, nor you felt you are a... Neither you felt that you are a king, nor you are a... Nor you said you are a doctor, nor you are a patient. Neither you said you are a policeman and a robber. Neither you felt you are an alcoholic anonymous or a sober anonymous. What do you call it? Teetotal. Who is a teetotaler? Who doesn't take tea? You know? The totally tea, all the time tea, and then he is a teetotaler. So now, so you see, neither we know our age, nor any type of problem, emotional problem. One man just got married, and he is in honeymoon, but he lost. He is also in deep sleep, so his wife is in deep sleep. Another man just got divorced, and his wife ran away with another person. Another person just got a baby, and he is also in deep sleep. Another person just lost a baby. Another man won thousands of dollars in the stock market. He is also in deep sleep. Another man lost thousands of dollars in stock market. He is also in deep sleep. Another person is the president and elected to United States, and he is sleeping in White House first time. And another person defeated and thrown away from the White House, and he is sleeping in the peanut form. Now, who has got a better deep sleep? All same, is it not? See, that's the time we all become one. Our experience become one, common. That's called the closest universal experience we can get is deep sleep. Why? Because there are no objects. Object means, in order to create vritti, you need mind, you need senses, you need object. All three things are shut off. Then you are only having subject. That's what. There's no time awareness, there's no space awareness, it's all peaceful. Yes.
The subject exists in all experience as well.
Subject, but we don't identify with the subject. If you do, then you are a God-realized soul. That's called self-realization. If I am aware of that self in all state, in waking state, I know I am not this body, I am not Swami Vishnu, I am not the great emperor. I am that I am. I am aware of myself. In the dream also, I am not aware of, I know that I experience the dream, but I know that is but myself is different from the dream. In the deep sleep also, I am aware of. So in all three states, that underlying reality, when you realize, that's called superconscious state, that's called self-realization or God-realization. But we are not. Now I am experiencing Swami Vishnu. In the dream I experience Mr. Gold, and the deep sleep I am not experiencing anything except just a peace. So that's the difference between fourth state and third state. When you come from the fourth state, that timeless experience of supraconscious state, you are all the time aware of yourself, all the time. Though they have to function outside, they have to work outside, but that doesn't mean they are going to identify with their actions. They either witness or disassociate from that particular action. Like a example, there is a maid servant. She has got her child at home, but she has to work with her master's house, and she is also in charge of the children of her master. The children, her master has got 3 or 4 children, and they are very wealthy people, so they just leave the children under the care of they call it what? Aya? What do you call it? We call it Aya. And nanny, yeah. In India we call it Aya. Okay, so she leaves her baby at her home and takes care of and she has to bathe the children, she has to feed the children, she has to put them to sleep, she has to take them to school. It's all, and so she loves that children as her own children. She's attached to them very much. But still, how much she is attached to their master's children, her mind is constantly thinking of what? Her own child left at the... Can you forget that? Can you forget it? Whatever. Sometime. But even if you are, especially when you are seeing children, the moment you will think of your child first. That will come always in the forefront. Yet the maid will call, oh my children, come here. My child is a time for dinner. My child's time for sleep. Though they address them as my children, she knows they are not her children. She knows her children, her child is at the... So, though she addresses my children, she doesn't have any attachment to the children as she is having, but she can never forget her own. The same analogy is used. A God reader as a soul coming from that self-realization. I saw one self everywhere. He has got he has to perform actions. He has got ashrams and children and students and disciples, etc. Then he will not identify with that action. Yet he has to go, oh, it's my ashram, it's my yoga camp. You know Parvati? Yes, you know that very well. Well, and you are my student now, you know that? Yeah, be careful. So, my student. I know I call you my student and tomorrow you just run away. Then what? I cry for it, Parvati? I'll cry? Oh yeah, if I cry, then I am a fool. That's what's happening. You identify with this object, thinking it's mine. Oh yes, without Parvati I am not going to be happy. Then finish. Then one day that mind is going to explode. Because everything is mine will disappear one day. That's a law. So a God realized soul, they also does the same action, but they are not, though they call it my yoga camp, my ashrams, my students, but they don't have that attachment. They know this is only just a word, just like my child, my children. So that analogy, if you use to understand the difference. So when a God realized soul comes from that transcendental state, he sees all the time this play, and though they call it, they won't identify and get attached to that. Okay, that's called the difference between a deep sleep now. That's called experience here explained. Once more I read that now. During the deep sleep state, the mind is blank. That means why mind is blank? It's cut off from all objects and senses. So it has got nothing to do with it. And it's shut off itself by its own nature. There is an experience of voidness in which the mind is attending to no thoughts. But that doesn't mean it is dead, just like the muscles. Some people may even experience in this void state of mind with eyes open, as we are all doing. Is it not now? You are experiencing the lecture with complete disinterested, unattached state, completely disinterested. What you are talking has got no meaning to us, Swamiji. We are not interested in this, unattached, completely, without having any complete void experience you are having. He said, no, that's why she close her ears, just to get more. Okay. But this vritti must not be mistaken for the superconscious state. In the fourth state, that's a different, that's also timeless experience, but in that state, that you are awareness. In the deep sleep, it is a kind of void experience, but it's not complete void from our. There's no word we can describe about the deep sleep. Yes, what is your question?
When in deep sleep, the mind is not having any thoughts, but there's a subject which is, excuse me, there's a subject which is aware. A subject is aware. And since the subject has nothing, there's no contents in the mind, but this you're saying that there is a subject which is not connected to the mind at that moment. But this subject is not the self, right? Or is it the self?
What is subject? What is subject?
The subject that is able to, after you wake up after sleep and you say that you had a good sleep, there was a subject that was existing during the sleep. Is that subject?
What happened to subject now? What happened to subject now? What happened to subject now?
Well, subject is still, when you wake up, the subject is still there.
So what happened to dream?
There was nothing for the subject to be aware of.
The dream?
Oh, in the dream, yeah, there was some mental contents for the subject to be.
Mental contents? Subject I am asking about, subject.
Yeah, are you saying that the subject is separate from the mind, or the same as the mind? The subject is a mind with no contents?
No.
Or
You heard the lots and lots of time I explained about subject. What is subject? What is subject? I explained not only today, yesterday, in whole of your first course, second course, evening lecture, morning lecture. What is subject?
Well, then my
Well,
question
just to explain to me. What is subject? What you understand subject?
it would be the self, the I, your essential nature.
What is the meaning of subject means? It is not. It is not. Subject means it is not object. That's all. Very simple, is it not? Subject cannot be. Subject cannot be. Object cannot be. Subject. Now, this glass is subject or object?
Object.
These eyes are subject or object?
Object.
The body is subject or object?
Object.
Mind is subject or object?
Object.
So, the mind senses. Then what is subject is?
Just the self. But then then the problem that leaves is when you're in a deep sleep state, you're not experiencing such ananda.
That we already explained several times. Just wait, I understand. Why you are not able to experience Satchidananda in the deep sleep, though it is subject experience? Why?
The veil.
There is veil. That's called nescience. Veil exists. That's the story I just gave you about just the maid. The maid. The maid, when she, though objects are called everybody or other children as my children, she knows that is an illusion. Her real child is at home. So a God-realized, self-realized soul, though you say, it is my body, is my home, my yoga camp, they are not identifying with this. They are identifying with what? Identify with what? The maid servant, go back to that story. Maid servant, she addresses my children, come here. Master's children, she addresses as my children. But when she addresses my children, does she identify with her children? She identifies with what? With what? Answer, please.
Her own child.
Answer, that's all I want. Okay. Her own child. her mind is always, when she says, though she addresses master children as my children, she identifies with her own children. The mind is always associated with her child who left at the home. So a Godhead as a soul coming from the fourth state, he always identifies with that. My means not with these objects and so forth. My means is identifying with that. Just like the maid servant. Maid servant identifies with her child. Same way, they always identify, I am now. Do I identify with my body or with myself? When I say I am. Which self?
Well, if you're seeing true knowledge.
Forget about I am not, I am just asking as a human being. Now as a Swami Vishnu. When I say Swami Vishnu, what I am thinking of?
The body and mind.
Or if I am identified with the emotional sheath, I am a very great lover. If I am identified with the pranamaya sharira, pranamaya kosha, we already in the Vedanta I described everything clearly. When you identify with that particular sheath, pranamaya sheath, identify I am a great psychic. If I am going to identify with my intellectual sheath, I am going to identify I am a Einstein. All this I explained everything clearly. The subject is what is left beyond this five sheaths. So a person coming from the transcendental experience, and he always identifies with that self. Just like the maid servant identifies with her child. All the time. Not just only at certain time. Whenever she addresses this, how many children that she takes care of, whenever she addresses how many times, but still her mind is always connected to her own child. So that's all only example I can give. But when I come from the deep sleep state, though I came in subjective state, I am the same old fool. When I wake up, immediately I identify with my physical sheath or what else sheath? How many sheaths you have it? So when I say sheath, means then first either I identify with my physical sheath or identify with my so in the deep sleep state, the sheath is called identification. Though it is self-awareness, still there is one sheath there. What is that sheath? The bliss sheath. The bliss sheath is not as powerful as the physical body, but that veil is there. That veil is there. Though it is subject to awareness there, because of this veil, when you wake up, you are back to the same old state. That's the difference between when you come from the deep sleep state and from the super conscious state. That's all I can explain. If you didn't understand that, there's no way I can go further beyond that. The next is, the last is memory. Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramoshaha Smritihi. Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramoshaha Smritihi. Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramoshaha Smritihi. Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramoshaha Smritihi. Now, meaning is, memory is the retention of past experiences. It's very easy to understand, is it not? Read it, please. This is a vritti. Memory exists when impression received by the mind do not slip away permanently and can be recalled to consciousness. If one knowingly perform an action, it will be recorded in the mind. If there is no awareness of an action or event, it cannot be retained. Memory can arise out of the three previous vrittis. These are the way memory coming up from the previous three vrittis. What are three vrittis? Verbal delusion and sleep. And if you don't have the experience of the sleep, that vritti, you will never go to You'll never go to sleep. Because you always want to know when you can go to, when you want to go to. Parvati, you all know when you want to go to? Yeah, you want to, when you want to go to sleep, is it not? When you want to go to sleep. Yeah, that's right. And especially after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, really you want to. So there is a memory from the previous day. What that memory from the previous day sleep? It was, and a wonderful sleep. Somanex makes you drowsy, makes you drowsy. Somanex, you know, that's the sleeping pill, they call it Somanex? What do you call it? Yeah. Somanex makes you drowsy. So you got that experience of getting that drowsy state, that peaceful state. So you want to enter back into that. And at that time, you want to experience the deep sleep vritti coming up. And come on, just let me have a little bit ice cream party now. What do you will say? I am too tired. Because you don't care about ice cream vritti. You had ice cream vritti also before. Memory of the ice cream is there. No memory of the deep sleep is there. Now, when a deep sleep vritti is now coming more, you know, you want to experience that. Now what will happen to the ice cream vritti? Overrules. Forget it. Overruled. The judge says, no. Overruled. So, you're coming. Suppose you got little sleep, it's boring because the lecture is getting bored. So you are falling asleep. At that time, okay, we are going to have an ice cream. Suddenly, now the ice cream vritti is, now you don't want to sleep. Sleep vritti is overput by the ice cream vritti. Yes, now what is your question?
Okay, does that mean that memory cannot arise out of correct knowledge?
Correct knowledge is not an objective knowledge. Again, correct knowledge is the knowledge of the self. Where there is, if that knowledge, correct knowledge comes, then you will never have any other experience of any other vritti. Though the body will go on to, but you will not identify with that particular, what the vrittis are there all the time. And when you identify with the self, then you don't identify with the vrittis. When you are identifying the vrittis, you are not identifying with the, you already go back to third, again read that aphorism again. So you always forget that aphorism, always read the third aphorism.
At that time.
And come on.
At that time, when the thought wave was still, to perceive a reason of
Okay, that self. So when that thought waves are still, you are resting in your own self. In the next one, just read it.
not concentrated, to perceive it identifies with
So modifications are vrittis. So what you call an ice cream is only the vritti. It is not the happiness you are going to get from. You got the memory of the ice cream. That's what you want to eat, ice cream. Now, suppose you never tasted ice cream in your life, will you get a vritti of ice cream? No, because you don't know what it is. Then you get vritti of something similar to that, but not the ice cream vritti. The ice cream vritti come only from your memory if you had an experience in the past. Suppose someone gave an ice cream, you never tasted ice cream, they gave an ice cream when you were in a sleep state. Then there is no memory again. Hey, did you taste ice cream? What ice cream? I never heard even that word. Jackfruit. Now remember jackfruit? How it tastes? How it tastes, jackfruit? Pineapple. But okay. Yeah. But still, you are talking from experience or from memory? Memory. This memory is from experimental memory or just a theoretical memory? Theory. Now, still you don't have any experience what that jackfruit. But ask Shakti, tell me, how is that jackfruit taste? Come on. Come on, tell me, little bit explain to these people. Pulpy, louder. Now, do you understand that? Do you understand that? She explained everything clearly, is it not? You see that an experience cannot be explained because unless you have your own. So also that's called memory. So whenever I say now only one memory will be there about jackfruit, about what Shakti said or what I said, but not directly coming from your own. Same way, when I say about self, you are Satchidananda. You are Satchidananda, that thou art. You understood, is it not? Yes, just like the jackfruit. That the what? You are Satchidananda, existence, knowledge and bliss absolute. See that? You are existence, knowledge and bliss absolute. You understand that? Yeah. You are not this body. You are not the mindless. You are not senses. You are not the physical sheet. You are not the vital sheet. You are not the intellectual sheet. You are that immortal self. It is just like explaining about jackfruit. And when we explain about now the Satchidananda, you do the same thing, is it not? Just like, oh, jackfruit is just like the in between the mango. You are not talking from your own experiences. So we talk, you hear, it's just like the jackfruit. I never tasted jackfruit, you never know what jackfruit is. I read about jackfruit, so I'm explaining everything to you. And you heard about, oh, Swamiji must know everything about jackfruit, because what my experience is only the book knowledge. So that is the difference between a God reader the soul and a honest scholar, PhD. The PhD is just like jackfruit, explanation without knowing what it tastes like. You got that? So memory is that. Any other question? So, okay. Memory can arise out of the three previous vrittis, erroneous understanding. Suppose I know that Dattatreya is not a good horn player, but he is a good horn player. But my erroneous notion is he is not a good horn player because he is a yoga student. Yoga students can't be good horn players, because good horn players only you will find where? Where? That's right, in the practice room, that's right. And they all will be smoking joints, no? Most of them. They don't play, they don't smoke?
Maybe jazz,
Not classical music, they don't smoke at all? Not even one of them?
No, there are some.
What about what about the drinking?
Oh, most of them drink.
Okay, you see? Now,
Find most of them in the bar.
bars, that's right. So, Dattatreya doesn't go to bars, he doesn't smoke or take any of those things, and he spends at the yoga camp. How can be a horn player? So, of course, I am not a yogi, so I know. I am another musician, but he could not be a good, if he's a good musician, he must spend most of the time in the bars. So my erroneous understanding, for me, understanding of a horn player must be drinking beer and leading a wild life, but here he cannot be. So that's my error. So whenever I hear about Dattatreya, memory comes. Oh, Dattatreya is not a God, because he doesn't fit into the category of the horn players. Erroneous understanding coming up. So next is, what is that? Memory from verbal delusion. Someone called me, Dattatreya called me fool, and Parvati called me saint. So whenever I meditate, suddenly Dattatreya comes. Who comes in my mind? Dattatreya comes or Parvati comes? No, Parvati never comes, because she said I am a saint. But Dattatreya called me a fool. I'll see what I am going to do to you. So that I have got this device. All my meditation is now on Dattatreya, and see about all the bad qualities he is having. Oh my God, he came from Germany. He is not a good boy. So I know how to destroy him, and I just everything. I am now scheming. So one vritti start going on, multiplying and multiplying and multiplying, and I'll be after 10 hours. Oh my God, I was meditating. Still I was meditating on what? Dattatreya, you say. So that's called memories of that verbal delusion, or anything, bad memory of anything will come more than the good memory. Someone Suppose Prema Jyoti took $10 about 6 years ago, and she never even send me a Christmas card afterwards. So whenever I close my eyes in meditation, what I will see? Well, I gave her $10. She is so ungrateful. She never even wrote me a letter. She never even sent a Christmas card. But always we see our enemies and bad things more than good things. Verbal delusion and these memories of this type of things come up. Next is sleep. And we all know that we are falling asleep. Means we got the memory of that previous day's sleep. It is very pleasant. So you want to enter back. Is it not, Omkar? Yeah. You want to go now immediately, is it not? The moment I say Om Shanti, 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 Omkar will fall down suddenly. No more ice cream, nothing else. Just you want to enter into deep sleep. Okay. Now, past impressions exist in the mind from thousands of years of life. Not only in this life, but these are latent and are only considered memory when they surface to the conscious awareness. So not only memory comes from the present life, it also can come from past life. That's what the cause of your here sitting here. That is the awareness coming from the memory from the past. That spiritual experience we had, just like the sleep or ice cream. You got many various types of experiences from the past, but this experience also very, very, very powerful. The yogic experience is also very powerful. The disciplined life is very, undisciplined life is there, but which comes now first? Disciplined life. Manuel, though he is very young man, and which force is more? Which experience is more? The memory from the past. That disciplined life. Though at this age he wants to sit and learn. 67-year-old German. What is your name, man, gentleman? I forgot your glass. Man with the glass. Yeah. Yeah. Spell the word. Mount Vilas. Mount Vilas. Okay. Kailas. Mount Vilas. Okay, I can easily pray. Okay. Mount Vilas is 67. Yesterday or day before yesterday, one very important movie star died. What's her name, you know? Movie star. Ingrid Bergman. Ingrid, how do you say? Ingrid Bergman? Bergman, whatever it is. Ingrid Bergman. Okay. She is also, how old she is? She is 67, exactly 67 at his age. And she died of course, cancer, like some Fonda. I don't know, what Fonda is that? Heart attack, whatever it is. Okay, now you see, they're all 60, 67 within there. And they're all great movie stars, made millions and millions of dollars. Their name everyone knows. But they died. Here at the same age, they are doing intense discipline and experiencing a new type of, why at this age they want to do that? They could have retired now, they're all retired, is it not? Mr. Gold retired, Mr. Manor retired, Mr. Mount Vilas retired, not retired. They could just go to any retirement old people's home and sit in the wheelchair like everybody else and then watch the cars going that way but you see, that experience for them is very painful to sit in wheelchair and looking the cars going back and forth with arthritis and so forth. But the experience what these people having, those people you pay the money to get up at 5 o'clock and ask them to do pranayama and all this discipline, it will be unbearable. So that's called memories from the past, the discipline what they had done, and that's the experience they are coming up. So you are all not here young or old. Why you are taking this intense training? That past memory, what you had, that experience, you want to continue that discipline. You don't want to be controlled by your own mind. You want to be the master of your mind. And that is the how old are you, Anka? 18. Well, I started I was a Swami when I was 18, 17 and a half, 17 I joined. And I can understand what that mind does at that time, you see. And so young people and I look at it, and how much if they had to stay in this spiritual path for next another 40 years, how many temptations they have to overcome. And how many temptations he has to go, how many problems he has to see, and how all this, I don't know how he is going to fight all those in another 40 years. He is going to fight that up currents, and reach that state, and I pray, oh God, he will stick to that path, you see. So anyhow, I see that. But even at this very early age, like his own opposite to Manuel and Mount Villas, they are also young people at this time. Where are they? They are many of the young people, you can see people who can afford to, they take a surfboard and go to the beach and then ride the surf. And day and night they ride the surf, and then sit near and then smoke joints and marijuana and so forth. And here is why that is because of me, is my power. His own experiences now say, no, I cannot just accept this, why I want my own life. So this is what called samskaras, or the past memory. So the past memory is the cause for you are all sitting here now. It is not because of Swami Vishnu. Understand that. And this experience what you are getting, this training, that intense pranayama, asanas, bandhas you are practicing, next life you come back, very early time, Manuel, Gold, Mr. Gold, and Mr. Mount Vilas, they all will, even 3 years old, they will start doing pranayama. Because that intense training, now they experience that discipline. Oh my God, I don't want to just get back into that old state. Last life I took quite a long time to come to practice yoga. I don't want to wait so long, it is too much now. So, the intense desire will make them to come into a family, into an atmosphere, into a society. There they can start their life from very, like the Prema Jyoti is a beautiful young, she has got a spiritual atmosphere and spiritual parents from the very beginning. So Madalasa, although their children, they started their atmosphere with the yogic parents. So they must have done some good karma in the past to choose a parents so that they can get the training from the very beginning. And naturally, Madalasa won't give meat to your children, do you? No. Now look at how lucky he is. Now, that child to get a training on a vegetarian life from the very beginning, that means, though they are born in this country, they have done some good samskara from the past. That's what they are. So these children will choose those parents where they can get a good training from the very, otherwise they will be born in drug addicted family in the Brooklyn. Have you seen some of the parents of the Brooklyn? My God, those babies literally go on wild. You are born in Brooklyn? Oh, but thank God you are not there. But you have seen some of those drug addicted, the family, the children that drug withdrawal symptom. These babies, their mother, they used to take drugs, and that create the same symptom. And when they don't get these drugs, these babies will go wild. Drug withdrawal symptom, unbearable, painful condition, and they had to actually give the same treatment as they give to adults to get out of this drug withdrawal symptom. I think they methadone or something like that. It's a terrible therapy, and these newborn babies, helpless, they're completely under the influence of the drug from the very beginning. You understand how much problem these babies are, and because why? That particular baby has to come in a family, in this type of drug addicted family, not born in a spiritual family. Why? Because these children, they may be previously, in the past life, not only drug addicts, drug pushers. They must be pushing drugs to the children and babies to make a living. As you can see, 13 and 14-year-old children are given drugs, and they make them, first of all, they hook them with the drugs. And once they are addicted now, they need money. So they say, okay, you go and sell the drugs. That's how they control the younger generation. And they destroy the very minds of these children who do not know what to do. They have done these things in the past life. So from the very beginning, they must get that same experience what they done to the other innocent children, how they destroy their mind. So that's why they are born there. From the very beginning, they are going to suffer. So it's not God created that type of situation. That's the situation what. So what you are doing in the next life, you all, very beginning, you are going to learn, not yoga, not because of this type of training, because these trainings already you have it. So what you want more experience. So So you more discipline. Theory is no more because you already know the theory. That's what again I give example. When I practice yoga in this life, I don't have to go through this type of training what I am giving to you. I never had. In fact, I very seldom heard anything master talk. Occasionally only he will talk 1 or 2 minutes once in a year. He will just mostly come and sit there and lie and meditation time, but he will make everybody else to talk. And then how did he never talk? Occasionally you get Sarvalogi, he will sing every night. Sarvalogi, purify, meditate, realize, be good, do good, be kind, be compassionate. That's all mostly he will sing. And then serenity, regularity, absence of vanity, sincerity, he will talk about this. And sometimes Chidanandaham. I am neither body nor mind, immortal self I am. Nothing exists, nothing belongs to me. This type of songs he will sing now and then. But very seldom he gives lectures. But important events he'll give. Then how did I learn? And he made me not this way. He made me first time a professor, not a student. So when he started the Yoga Vedanta Forest Academy, I was only 18 at his age, he said. So he, 4 of his students, Swami Chidanand, you teach Raja Yoga, Swami Harisharanand, you teach Bhakti Yoga, Swami Krishnanand, you teach Jnana Yoga, Swami vishnu-devananda, you teach Hatha Yoga. That's all. That's how we learned. That's all very easy. He made a professor, not a student, And so I told Swami, I don't know anything about how am I going to teach. So he touched, everything will come to you, That's all. From that moment, it is just thought something as if a block has been removed from the past. And I understood all asanas and pranayamas, bandhas and this philosophy. This got it's also simple for me to understand and practice also. Not only discipline is very easy for me to get up at early 4 o'clock in the morning. I had no problem. See, I can just tell my mind what time I had to get up. Even when in childhood I had to get up. Because that I learned because it was necessary. Because my father is a little disciplinarian. And I used to sleep downstairs, he sleep upstairs. And he goes to the farm, and he always gets up very early to walk and go to the farm and watch his farm. So he gets up every morning 5 o'clock. And I hear the sound. If I didn't get up before he gets up, he's going to scold me. I don't want to hear the morning scolding from him. So my mind will be waiting when the sound is coming from upstairs. He's watching. So I accustomed to get up at 5 o'clock very early. Before he comes, I get up, and wash myself. The first thing we had to learn, after washing my face, etc., we must go and study. That's the first rule for us, you see. So early morning we have to study, and so he will come and, you are still sleeping, he will scold me, you see. So I accustomed to get up early morning. That discipline helped me. So also I am not allowed to come to house after 6 o'clock night. I cannot go anywhere out. It doesn't matter where I go. 6 p.m. I must be at home and study again evening. So he put the strict rules. In fact, that helped me a great deal. So anyhow, what I'm trying, for me, discipline was, there's no problem, not only because of the father's discipline, and also I watched my own younger generation. They used to take snuff. It's a British habit. The tobacco snuff. They take that stuff. And they get addicted to that snuff. And they run for miles to get a pinch of snuff. And my God, I looked at this. This snuff is going to make this so much, I'm going to be a slave. I won't touch it. So I avoid it because I don't want to lose my freedom. So also sometime other older students will start smoke occasionally behind. And I watch how they get addicted. Oh my God, if they are going to make a slave, that I won't touch smoking. Then I did not even take tea and coffee in my childhood, because my late auntie was a tea addicted. Oh, if she doesn't get her tea at the right time, she will sometimes beat her children. I said, she's a very good woman, but the tea, she must have certain time her tea, So my elder sister, so only one sister I had, she's 10 years older. She's addicted also to the coffee. Oh my God, if she didn't get the coffee at the right time, she would go wild. I said, when I saw all these things, how my own generation children are running for the small, tiny puff of snuff and others, I said, no, I won't touch any of this tea, coffee, nothing I will not touch, because of that only, I am afraid of that, not to become a slave. So this discipline I had no problem. Even when I was army, I used to get up at 4 o'clock and I used to do my meditation inside the mosquito tent, because before everyone gets up, no one should know. So I make my altar inside my small tent, small mosquito net, and I put my altar, open my fold my altar and meditate there, and because no one should hear my captain here finished. The yoga army came here meditating, and I used to collect beautiful flowers and then bring it to my worship inside the mosquito net. Of course, next they're all sleeping, snoring, and I'll get up before that, and I offer a flower in my own altar, and then I close everything. Before everyone gets up, I close everything, and then as if nothing happened. And I used to collect, once I was collecting rose flowers. I thought it's quite lots of rose, and then they caught me, and that actually the rose I was stealing is from the general's car. So what I'm trying to, for me, the moment I saw my that one literature in the waste paper basket, in the army, I had a quarrel with my friends on previous night, after, and the next morning I do not know what is the purpose of life and where I have to go, what is the purpose, why I am doing all these things. You take orders, you give orders, we do the same thing, stupid thing. Is there any purpose in my life? Many of my friends gone to the battlegrounds, Iraq and other areas, they are taken after the training. I was the only person, I was at that time almost 17 only, when I finished my training. I was carrying a rifle taller than me, not for killing anybody, but self-defense, you must learn how to shoot. So they trained me, and you have to literally, that big rifle, it's bolt action rifle. You aim down, you lie down on the hot desert with all these barren things on the hot ground, the 110 degrees, even the shade you get it, and you aim down, and then aim, and they'll give you bullets, which is empty bullets, what do you call the blank bullets, and you just load, reload, and then aim, shoot, and each time they trigger, come on, you shoot, you have to repeat a mantra. You know what the mantra? I don't know what in the American army is, but kill, that's what they give, you have to repeat that word. But there you have to say in Ek Japani, because at that time the war is going on between Germany as well as Japan, etc., the British armies, So Japan is coming this way and Germans coming that way. So they said each time you have to repeat the one, each time, aim, fire. So you pull the trigger, an empty bullet, and then you have to repeat Ek Japan. That means you killed one Japan. Each time, Ek Japan, Ek Japan. My God, what a thing, what a life we are living here. And so I finished that training. You can see literally the bones sticking out, all rubbing of that. And there's no water, nothing. But then I had peace, and all my friends I had taken Iran, Iraq, and battlefields. Many of them did not come back, and those who came back without arms and ears and nose and faces, then what is this life? We are here, just all the purpose of life, take orders, give orders, kill somebody. I do not know what to do. Next morning I went in my office, because now life is becomes easier for me, because I got my own office, my own orderly to take care of, and so I was just do not know what my life is. So I looked my waste paper bag at some lost letters. I looked, and there it is, Sadhana Tattva, essence of spiritual practice. Someone has thrown that. I read Swami Shivananda, Rishikesh, Himalayas. I read, what is that? An ounce of practice better than tons of theories. Then health culture, energy culture, spiritual culture. That was sufficient for me. All that past memory, just like the ice cream or remembrance of the sleep, everything came. Oh my God, here is the answer for me. Last night I was asking the question, what is the purpose? Here the answer came. Then after great difficulty, once I saw my master, first time I looked at him, I would have only 1 minute. And I was still very young, 17, I couldn't even ask any questions. I just watched him, and that was sufficient. I knew that something is in his face. I know that he is not just an ordinary man. There was no paraphernalia, no those hypocrisies and so forth. He's of the other religious people. Because I can't take the religious hypocrisy from my childhood. I watched that. That's not anything to do with the spiritualism. He was a simple, his face is shining. That's all. I just cried and I just left. I didn't even ask any question. I didn't even come near him. Then next time I came, you already heard the story how he prostrated before me. I am prostrating before him. So from that very moment he touched me, that moment onwards, all that past memory came. All these talks I am giving you, no one taught me. That's the truth. Whether asana, pranayama, even physiology. I learned little physiology, chemistry. Even then, I don't have to study in the school. Once I hear a physiology or chemistry, anything scientific, I get 100% mark. I never ask any question afterwards, nor I study also. But geography, history, I never cared about. It never had made any mistake. So all these things, was in the subconscious mind. If anything on scientific nature or yoga therapy or yoga science, and so I could bring it up back, and Master touched, you will know everything, Vishnu Swamiji, and it was true. From that moment, everything came. So also next life, you learn all these things. You don't have to sit like Shasha here with all the pencil and papers. Some teacher will come and hit you with a peacock feather. Suddenly we'll realize everything. No more study. But you practice discipline. And after knowing all that things, I did not spend 1 minute lazy in the ashram. I had to do all the ashram karma yoga, and then sometime I had to still till 12 o'clock midnight. That's the only time I have time to practice my pranayama and so forth. So that's a discipline I can never forget, and never moment I can leave. Without discipline, my life is nothing. And so all my memory comes from that discipline. And still I am only teaching you one thing. What's that? Discipline. That's all I know. And that's the only thing I want you to all do. Everything what you hear this theory is so that you can practice and experience through your own self-discipline. So that is the vrittis. So vrittis, how it works, you can understand that. Now, the next vritti, what is that? What is the number? 12. Now just see. Whatever I know you said, it will be very sensible to you. Abhyasa vairagya abhyasam tam nirodha. Repeat. Abhyasa vairagya abhyam tam nirodha. Abhyasa vairagya abhyam tam nirodha. Abhyasa vairagya abhyam tam nirodha. Their control is brought about by practice and non-attachment. Their control means control of these vrittis. What are the vrittis? Come on, repeat the vrittis. Always must by heart that. What are the vrittis? And what are the vrittis you are going to control? All 5 vrittis? Only last 4. The first one is direct. When you stop all these 4 vrittis, then it will be the first one, the right.
But it still makes a difference between the correct knowledge as being still being a vritti and...
No, see, that's the only explanation, because when you are not always in meditative state. So there will be correct knowledge. I know what the correct knowledge, I am not this body. Always I know, I am myself, I am that I am. So this correct knowledge is not only during meditation, it also goes on. So it becomes a part of your vritti. You won't see erroneous notion. You don't see this world as snake. The world is real. You don't see husband, wife are real. It's all erroneous notion. So you won't get run toward that. Attachment won't, suddenly you saw something, I want to get attached to that. You know that attachment to that person or to that property or to that money is like a mine. It's going to explode you. So you know the correct vision. That's all just Maya. It's going to trap me there. Every moment it is going to trap me. So you know that how to. So you keep your mind always withdrawn, you see, and unattached to anything. Even I have to perform this yoga camp, that doesn't mean the yoga camp is mine. Every moment I watch, is there going to bind me, or any person is going to bind me? Immediately if it's going to bind, I run away from that. So I watch, and that's what last year, when I ran away from all these things, I was trusting my own mind. Was this mind, 25 years of running in this whole world of West, creating all these organizations, was it still attached to any one of these things? I am able to just detach everything and just lead as I used to live before. After 25 years of life, I went back and I watched my mind. My mind was just same, in fact more peaceful, because one more good thing is about this, I did not just spend all my time in the cave, I also did my karma yoga, my duty to the world. Now if I withdraw, I did not have any negative feeling. So I was more peaceful. I could detach from everything and feel unattached way. If I had to go for tomorrow another peace mission, I can do it. Or if I want to go back to the cave, it's the same. It has got no meaning. So that's called unattached attitude, called correct vision. Once you got that correct vision, you never get attached to anything, because attachment is the binding thing which will bind everything, will take your peace, your happiness. So never get attached to anything. But devotion is different from attachment. Mostly you think love, what you call love is nothing but attachment. But devotion is not attachment. I love Parvati. But Parvati tomorrow runs away, I won't weep. I know, it's just a dream. She came as a Parvati and worked now, and she goes away. So I can laugh. That's called never get attached to anything in this universe. That's the only cause. So practicing this, the control of Chittavati was brought about by practice and non-attachment. Constantly, this non-attachment should be there all your life. Never miss that. You can say my wife or my husband, but just like the example I gave, like the maid servant, the talking about my children, but she knows when she addressed her as my children, she is unattached to the children. But she will do her duty perfectly. She will take care of them. She will give them bathing. She will take them to school. She will feed them. She will put them to the bed because that is her duty. But duty she will never neglect. Her duty she will perform. But she performs without any. But when she performs action to her children, with attachment. But so don't take that example. Only that example I gave, that is only her mind is given always concentrating on her child. Same thing, you have to concentrate on the self. You are not concentrating on anything else, are not attached even to your own body, name, form, qualities, your religion. I am a Hindu, I am a Swami. Even that idea, I am a Swami, you must transcend. That itself is a bondage. This idea, purpose of wearing this orange robe is so to remind you, man, don't make mistake, because life is very short and your body will be burned by fire, just like this fire. This is a fire color and will be burned to ashes. So don't just too much give what you see. This body is growing old every moment. It's not the same. It's going to eventually be eaten by germs and worms. Identify with yourself. So that's called unattachment. Once you know that this world is a poison, everything what you see, the sense pleasures are poisons, then you will not anymore indulge and run. And that way, if you want to practice the vrittis, meditation means stopping the vrittis, the four type of vrittis mentioned, then you must practice. That is, what are the things going to practice? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Practice until you become perfect. Somebody asking, a man wants to go to Carnegie Hall, some big opera, and the place, Dattatreya is going to give a big opera and play what is that? Concert hall, an opera, and the Carnegie Hall people call it big. So he is going to give a big concert in Carnegie Hall. But somebody asked, he wants to find out, he doesn't know, he's out of town, I heard. So he asked, where's the Carnegie Hall? Some passerby asked, please tell me how to go to Carnegie Hall. The man said, practice more. After reading, that's the only way you can go to Carnegie Hall by practicing more and more. You cannot play, like ordinary people won't play in Carnegie Hall, only top players will play. So if you want to reach Carnegie Hall, practice more, he said. Same thing, if you want to reach meditation, to stop the vrittis, there's only one way, what is that? Practice. There is no easy method, that's what Patanjali says. It is not because some teacher can give you or some specific secret formulas and secret mantras which will bring you. There is no way, only one way you can get this, by practice and attachment. And you should not even get attached to even that God realization. Even that is an attachment. Even that attachment will bind you. Even that, leave all the fruits of action. Don't expect anything. Your duty is only to practice. Don't expect reward. Then instant peace will come. Yes. But wait, before I answer your question, or I understand. But anyhow, I'll just give one more explanation, then you can ask the same question. Correct knowledge means realization of the I am that I am. This vritti, to reach, I must realize myself. That itself is a vritti. But that is the only vritti which will bring you peace of mind. That's a theory. Now, to get that correct knowledge, how? You must stop all other 4 vrittis. When you stop all other 4 vrittis, then what is left is, then the mind will rest in its own. That's the third aphorism. Tada drishtu pratyava. That means tada drishtuhu. That means that drishtu, the seer, rests in its own self. So now the knowledge, correct knowledge, is that first theoretical, and then you must stop. And how do you reach that correct knowledge? By the tada, by that their control is brought about by practice and non-attachment. At that time you reach that self. Then it is not a vritti anymore. What he is talking about vritti at this moment, right knowledge, correct knowledge, is a vritti, because that vritti is at present, you don't have that self-realization. You don't see yourself. But you got a vritti. Why you are sitting here and meditating and doing all these things? Because you got a correct. You know that the body is not the self. You know what you are doing up to this time was wrong, and you want to change. So you got a correct vritti. In fact, Michael wants to go to Australia. Is it not? Well, he stopped going to Australia and he came back to the course, advanced course. So he stopped that vritti of going to, because this correct knowledge, he wants to find out the more truth. And so yesterday after the lecture I was going down and he was talking, oh, I enjoy the course very much. Well, why he is enjoying? He is able to focus. It's not because of my lecture, because he is able to focus it. Other vrittis he is able to, because he had a boat vritti, a skiing vritti, but he just went and gave this boat to his father, come and sell it out, and all the skiing vritti and going to Australian vritti all stopped. Now he is sitting hours and hours. So that's called correct knowledge. So you got this vritti of this correct knowledge. You want to come and learn. And so also Ongar, this early age, he could have just gone and do cha-cha-cha, baba, ramba. But here, so that's correct. So vrittis are there, but it is not a complete full vritti, but you know you got that vritti, that what is the correct knowledge. Otherwise you won't be sitting here and hearing these lectures, you see. You got that? Now you can ask the question if there is. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. Yeah. See, I'll give a story. There is an outlaw colony in the mountain, and they were all bandits and they're outlaws, and government is very difficult to in any way stop them because they are living in the deep forest, and this colony was thriving for so many years. They got their own system in the colonies and their families and children, etc. And therefore the head of the outlaw colony, and this head of the outlaw colony, the king, or the king of the bandit king, he's very fearful person and fierce, and even the entire colony will be terrified of him. But he is growing old now, so he wants to give his job to his son. So he called all these bandit colonies. Come on, we are having a meeting, and in this meeting he said, I am going to give my job, my leadership to my son, and he is as brave and as fierce as me, and he will lead you all in your struggle. So he was installed, his son was installed as the head of the, and then to prove initiation, everyone who is been initiated, they must do some kind of, like in mafia, the initiation is there, if you want to join a mafia, what do you have to do? First of all, they must go and kill somebody else, then only they are eligible to become a member. So the initiation is to see that he is strong enough, he must take a raiding party, and go and bring lots and lots of loots, and not only bring lots and lots of loots, he must kill somebody and then burn the houses and then loot everything and come back, and then he is very brave. That's the way there. So this tonight, midnight, he is going to take raiding party. How many volunteers wants to go with him? And he can bring you lots of money, and then he will show how brave he is. He's as brave as me. And there are about 10 or 12 hands came, and so, okay, you're all going to follow him, and then these are the places, and such and such town, and there is a big house, a rich man's house, and there's lots and lots of money and gold is stored there, and you must go and bring that, burn the house, and kill the owners, and bring all that money, and he is going to lead you, and you see how successful my son is. He can execute this job very thoroughly. So they were all planning, and they took all the maps and all the things, which route they must go, which route they must get out, and who is going to stay where, and who is going to watch, and who is going to direct